I've often said that conservatives, rightists, Democrats need to ignore George Soros and people like that and focus their efforts more on their version of that, which is to say the Donald Rumsfelds and Dick Cheneys and Karl Roveses of the world. And by improving ourselves, we'll, improve the world, attract followers, etc., so forth. But I think that I must have been going somewhere with that, but I got off track. Let me get back to today. You know what? As of today, Louis Farrakhan is replatformed. How could that happen, you ask? Well, the fact is, okay, this is related to Trevor Noah kind of fucking up, okay? It's like the kind of hate-utainment and guilt-utainment and fuck-utainment that I like, he is just not delivering. It's like we just can't tolerate this crap that just doesn't understand that inherently, politics and to a lesser degree law in general is, like unclean professions full of scumbags. It's like I just don't think the guy gets the kind of humor that people really want. And so it's like I'm like the Poke Master being like, Trevor Noah, return. Louis Farrakhan, I choose you. Ha! And, must have been like a sign. Because, it's like, okay, so what does the world's evilest anti-Semite that I now forgive say about the election results? And he basically said in the same speech, fuck George Soros and fuck Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney, which kind of was all I need to say. That is the kind of sentience I wish I could get out of someone like Trevor Noah, that he would make that kind of connection. Only, like humorous. It's like, hey, Democrats are assholes. It's not like they're Republicans, chuck, chuck, chuck. Or, hey, Republicans are assholes. At least they're not Democrats doing this shit. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And it's like, it's just so hard. And, also, I probably should revive the Friend of Cicero channel. But the fact is, just like Jill Stein, I have to admit, it's over for me. I've lost. So I have to assume my role as a de facto advisor. And as a de facto advisor, I will say this. My policy recommendation to Trump regarding universities is don't cut federal funding. Don't increase it. Not one goddamn penny. But don't cut it. Even in light of the new policy, don't increase it. Just don't cut it. Here's what I want. I want a federal mandate by executive order telling these universities that they are not to have any policies that allow them to remove vagrants or loiterers or people sleeping where they're not supposed to. I just say there's a federal law that if you are undocumented in any way, homeless, poor, ragged, or bullshit in any way, dragging and ragging on this goddamn society we love so fucking much, that, universities are not allowed to have policies against that, allow them to remove you and put you into the custody of, cops and shit like that, okay? Every fucking tent city that's like a god-awful blighted eyesore on downtown businesses, that shit is now going to move to the campus. And when I say the campus, I don't mean trade schools and municipal schools and things like that. No. Just state universities. Just these bullshit little commie-ville. Because these perfect little pretend societies of love, that work for you in the commie-ville, the only reason that works is because you can say, well, if you're a student, we won't kick you out if you're undocumented. But no, that's not the deal you're proposing for the rest of us. I say that you and your university ground and your perfect little bullshit ivory tower city becomes our solution to immigrants, to the homeless problem, to all of this shit you want to stand up and fight for. You know, if we catch a damn criminal on a street corner instead of sending him to jail, we're going to say, hey, buddy, if you didn't want to be fucking arrested for standing on a street corner selling drugs, you should have done it on campus. And then let them push this commie bullshit. Okay? Now, this is not something I would suggest to punish you and say, ha ha ha, I'm going to punish you with all this shit you hate. I just want to unite you a little bit more with this message I keep hearing from you about how compassion and a chance to do a better society and blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know you would whip out Uncle Sam's checkbook and put money on it, but if you actually had to look at these people who suffer these problems, would you have compassion and want to solve their problems and put them up in a house? Or would you just want to kick their asses up to their shoulders and go back to your perfect little commie land fantasy? And that's my question, because honestly, like I said, if it's like, look, no, this is a safe campus, and if we have any faculty or students that are undocumented, we're going to protect them. And like I said, I'll do you one better. I'm not going to cut the federal funding, or I wouldn't cut the federal funding, but I would not allow it to be increased at all ever. And I would say, hey, no university police are allowed to arrest you for vagrancy at all ever, or loitering at all ever. You are allowed to use any facility, from the classrooms to the bathrooms. You walk in and out of that university just like you were a student there. It's Commieville now, and they can't fucking remove homeless people and disruptions by law. Now these crowds of students that want to march out on behalf of society's injustice have a personal chance to share mommy and daddy's fortune to put them up like that to, fix this homeless person's life or whatever, or this refugee's life or whatever. The point is that these inequities in society, if you're really, like rich by white privilege, if you're rich enough to fix these problems without the government being involved, I think that something like that would give you a perfect chance. Otherwise, you can walk back your bullshit and protect the jobs of, the children of Mexicans and hillbillies already living here. The children of inner city niggers already living here. You cannot fucking put illiterates on top of them with a shovel and still expect them to, do the hard labor job when they're young and turn it into a healthy and successful adult life, hopefully. Meanwhile, we need to find a better plan to export these kinds of opportunities for advancement through life to places south of the border. Cuba, Mexico, they should have the same civil, labor, and environmental standards we do. Furthermore, back to, these laws requiring politicians to both show up and vote on initiatives. And, that's pretty much a summary of all my advice to the incoming administration. Furthermore, on a personal note, to Al Sharpton and hopefully eventually Trevor Noah again. Al Sharpton. Louis Farrakhan. It's going to be a pleasure working with you. But that's another thing, okay? To Trevor Noah, to really, get back on that horse, I want to see guests like Michael Savage from the Savage Nation and Louis Farrakhan on The Daily Show. If you don't start delivering like that, then you're full of shit, man. I want to hear better arguments from the right on The Daily Show. I want to hear non-feelings-based, metric/science-based social arguments from the darn left that aren't bullshit. They're out there. And if you focus on them, then you know what? The ones that are fucked up and based on fake shit can be improved. So, like I said, eye on the ball, and our team will score for sure. Over and out.